first YouTube video. I want to thank you all for being here. I've wanted to make YouTube videos for a really long time and I'm just now starting to take the leap. So I want this channel to be geared towards book accessories that I'm reviewing, as well as books that I've read and book recommendations that I've received. So I want to start off this video with some of the recent accessories that I've purchased in the past couple of months and my reviews and thoughts on them. It's only a few things, but I think the things that I have are practical and would be of some use if you like them as well. So the first thing that I want to start off with is this Bookmark book timer. If you can see that. And it has the hours, minutes, a start and stop, and reset button. I acquired this because I am someone who cannot stop reading when I should be. I work a lot of hours and I just do not know how to go to bed on time, especially when I'm reading a good book. So this is something that kind of helps me stay on track as far as allotting myself a certain amount of time and then stopping when the timer goes off. Now, some of the things that I've noticed about this is it doesn't ever turn off. So there's not an on-off switch, and that's okay because honestly, I've had this for about 3 months now and the battery in it has lasted forever. I've not seen any dimness in the timer, and it works really well for me. I enjoy it. I think these are geared towards 3rd grade and under, at least that's what the website, it's called markmytime.com. I don't know if you can see that. But anyways, I think it's to help children in those age categories that either need help focusing on reading for a certain amount of time each day. I think it helps with like their homework and they need to stay on track. Anyways, it works for me. That's what I'm using it for. It comes in like 3 different colors and I loved it. I'm going to link everything below that I'm going to speak about. Most of this stuff is from Amazon. I love Amazon. So I will link that below for you if you want to purchase these. My next item is also an item that I've had different variations of, and this one I've found to be up to par. I don't really know how this book item that I'm about to talk to you about can get any better than what I found for the pricing especially, but it is this book lamp. Ooh, let's turn it on. This book lamp. So I've had different variations of book lamp and some have been really cheap. Some have been, I can't say as great as this one, because one of the few things that I really like about this, besides the sturdiness of this, look at this clamp. It is heavy duty. I can't even open it all the way because it's so tight. The flexibility of it, so I can bend it any which way to find the position that I need to read or whatever I'm doing. I think I also saw in the reviews a lot of people use this lamp for crafts, so you can clamp it down on anything like a work table and just kind of get the night light that you need. I love that it is not battery operated. Now there's not an issue with that, but I hate having to carry different types of batteries in my household for all the different products that I have in my house. So this is a USB chargeable lamp. It's a regular USB. It didn't come with a wall adapter, but that wasn't something that was like a downfall for me. I had USB powered outlets, so I just kind of plug it in and it does the job for me. Now, I also purchased this along with the bookmark that I was just speaking about, and I've only had to charge it once. So if that tells you anything about the battery life on this, it is really good, and that is one of the other many things that I enjoy about this. It is a touch lamp, as you kind of briefly just saw. It has 3 settings, so I'm going to touch them right now so you can kind of see. This is low. This is medium, and this is bright, or bright, wow. This is high. So it gets pretty light. I've never really had to use it on the highest setting before because I find that the lowest setting works for me. That probably helps with the battery life that I've experienced with it. I'm only ever using it on its lowest setting. So I really enjoy this. It's a nifty little lamp light. I haven't seen any wear on it, and I just love it. It is from Doughty, I believe that's how we're pronouncing it. And this was also purchased from Amazon. I'll link it below. My next item I have seen a lot on Bookstagram accounts as well as like Facebook feeds, and I wanted to purchase one with a higher quality because I know how I was going to use it. And I've seen this company just a little bit of everywhere. A lot of, like I said, booktubers and Bookstagram accounts have reviewed these, so I wanted to purchase something that I trusted in people's opinions. So that is BookBeau, Book Sleeve by BookBeau. And isn't this fabric so cute? This is a Harry Potter themed. I don't know if you can, oh, there's the golden snitch, little key, flying key, spell books, little owl. The quality of this is really good. It reminds me kind of like of a plush pillow. And I use it for my planners. I've used it for books that I'm traveling with to and from work. It helps keep my books nice and crisp. I hate when the corner edges of books start to fray, like paperbacks especially, and when you have the book sleeves on your hardback books, how they start to like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, like when they've been rubbed up against so many times and they start to fray. I cannot stand that, so this has worked really good for me. I love it. I love the different fabrics that they offer. This is one of their biggest sizes that they offer in a book sleeve. I purchased it because honestly I didn't want to have to right off the bat purchase all these different sizes for the different types of books that I've owned. So this is recommended for a book the size of like a Harry Potter hardback book. And it's pretty big, and you can see that. It's got a zipper on it. I enjoy this really. Wow, I cannot talk today. I enjoy this a lot because, like I said, it just helps keep my books pretty, and I love that it is owned by a young woman who's out of Texas. I've kind of followed her story briefly. I'm forgetting her name at the moment, but I enjoy what she's done with it, and she is an avid book reader as well, so she knows what she was doing when she made this. One thing I do want to say about these is that it's not recommended to wash this in your washing machine. So I think if you got anything on it, you should probably just like, I don't know, maybe get some dish Dawn soap and a microfiber cloth and kind of dab and let it air dry. But it's not recommended to throw this guy in the washing machine. Luckily, I've not spilled anything on it yet, so fingers crossed. And my last item, which is one of the biggest things that I want to speak about, I wasn't really looking for one of these, and in the past I've kind of like been someone who I consider is a traditionalist when it comes to reading books, so I wasn't really expecting to purchase any of these types of items in my future, and that is a Kindle. So I got this like little, I don't know, little blue case. I just kind of got it just to kind of help cover it. I got the 10th edition Kindle Paper-white, and I honestly love this. This has been my new favorite thing. As I said, I'm a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to reading. I love the way that the pages on a book smell. I'm one of those people who, I don't know if you've ever met someone who likes the smell of gasoline. I love the smell of paper, especially, I don't know, I can smell a good book from a mile away. So that was one of the things that I didn't like when it came to e-readers, is that I didn't get to smell the book that I was reading. Another thing was cover art. I'm a fan of cover art. A cover art junkie, I should say, because I base a book on its cover, Even if it's not good, if it has a good cover, I'm willing to read it. And I don't think that it really does it justice on an e-reader, not even an iPad. I just couldn't find justification until now. One of the Bookstagram accounts that I follow, they posted a screenshot of one of the books that they were reading. And the way that the page looked on the Kindle Paper-white, I loved it because it most reminded me of what it would look like to read a book. So, sorry, my ear's turning on. Sorry if that's loud. This is just kind of an example. I don't know if you can see this of, oh, okay, it went into the book that I'm reading. Well, anyways, you briefly saw how the cover looked. You don't really get a gist of what the cover color is like, what the font is. So that's a takeaway, but not big enough to not own one anymore. This is just an example of what the paper of the book looks like when you're reading it on an e-reader, and I just love that. And it has different settings, so you can dim the lightness or darkness of the pages. I think you can even do black background and white font, but I like how this looks, so I've been leaving it on that. This has been a true lifesaver because I also take this in my book sleeve, and it's helped kind of protect this along with some other little stuff that I keep in there. And this has been by far the easiest. It's so lightweight. I can take it anywhere around my job, and it's really easy to just flip open and read a couple of pages really quick. And like I said, there is a backlight to the Kindle that you can adjust the settings on that as well. You can't tell right now, but I have the light on like the middle settings, so I can read this in the dark right now. But I love that I don't need anything additional to read this with as far as like a light. It's really lightweight, and a lot of other different settings, such as it tells you at the bottom of the pages where you are at in the book. It has different settings with that. I hope you can see that. So it says that I am almost 80% done with this book, and I have 12 minutes left. And 12 minutes is based upon the reading speed that I have gathered while reading the Kindle. It tells you you have about 12 minutes left in the chapter. So I've really enjoyed that. I'm so glad that I finally have crossed over into e-readers. This is, I think I'll just continue to maybe like get an updated version of this in the future, but this is where it's at for me. I don't think that I would enjoy reading a book on an iPad yet, even though it does offer the color aspect that I'm speaking for the covers. That's just not how I would like to experience my books at this moment in time. And also, I want to say really quick, this does have audio capabilities. I don't use it for that because I use the library app that I have for my local library that offers audiobooks. So that's what I think that I'll continue to use my phone for. But if you're someone who's into audiobooks, great use for that. I have an 8 gig, I don't think I said that. This is the 8 gig version of the Kindle Paper-white, and that supposedly fits anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 ebooks. That's more than enough for me. And there is a 32 gig option, but if you're someone who just has a lot more books than what I have, then maybe that's a better version for you. But for right now, this is what works for me, and I love it. All right, finally into my favorite things. So I have a couple books here that I've recently read in the past couple of months over quarantine, and they're just some of my thoughts. Some of them are recommendations from a couple of booktubers that I enjoy watching their videos, and others are just kind of ones that I picked up based on the cover. All right, so I'm going to start with Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects. This is an HBO adaptation now, and I adored this book. This was something creepy, mysterious, suspenseful. I want to think of something that isn't going to be too spoilery. Am I saying that right? Spoilers. I don't want to give away any spoilers because I can't obviously say the other word. Camille Preaker is a journalist / reporter, and she is sent on a case back in her hometown, and it's not somewhere she really wants to be. She moved away from her hometown for a reason, and you kind of get to see some of her old secrets come out, and you're following that as well as her writing about the case, and then a bunch of other mysterious stuff going on with her mother and younger sister, who she doesn't really have a close relationship with, but who she is staying with because she's home, and it's so much of a small town. I don't think that she could have stayed there without running into them. So you're just following the different relationship dynamics between her mother, her sister, and her role in her old town. A really good read. Gillian Flynn is a really good writer, and she's also the screenwriter for the HBO adaptation, which I also watched after reading this, and visually it was just like I was reading the book again, and I thought they did a really great job about that. So if you wanted to watch the film over reading the book, I think that you could do that, but there's like some slight tweaks that they did that were a bit different from the book, but I enjoyed it. It was a great book. The next one is a recommendation from two of my favorite booktubers. One is Kate, wow, I am sorry, Kat from Paperback Dreams, and Noel Gallagher. And this is about Caitlin Doughty. Caitlin Doughty. I'm gonna keep doing that, guys. I'm sorry. I'm tired, and I've filmed this video like 5 times, so bear with me. This book is called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory. And I just love this cover. It's simple, but it does it for me. And basically it's about Caitlin's experience being a mortician, working in a funeral parlor, and her life experiences during this time in her life when she was just starting off as a mortician. I always kind of wanted to know what it was like to work in a funeral parlor. I actually have my cosmetology license that allows me to do hair and makeup on the deceased, but I have never taken that avenue because I think I would kind of get bored with that easily. But anyways, if I were to be able to do anything cool enough like be a mortician, this kind of gives you a great idea of what that's like. It also normalizes a lot of the things that I think the public wouldn't necessarily think or know about what it's like to prepare a body, especially for, you know, people who are grieving. And it answers a lot of questions about what I myself would like done when I die. You know, what do I really want? Do I want to be cremated? Do I want to be buried? Just questions like that. And Caitlin actually has an Instagram and a YouTube where she answers questions about things that she touched on this book and a mini array of subjects. So I will try to link her YouTube or Instagram down below, as well as the booktubers that I spoke about, and just kind of see for yourself. I loved it. It was a great recommendation, and I'm glad that I picked it up. Now this next book is I don't think it's considered a young adult. It's a middle grade book that I picked up from a thrift store, and I just adored the cover. It reminded me of an R.L. Stine book, like Goosebumps, and it is called The Mostly True Story of Jack by Kelly Barnhill. I'll show you that again. Look at that cover. I don't know, it's just spooky. I like it. So anyways, this follows Jack. He is staying in Iowa with his aunt and uncle. I think what is described as his parents they're going through a divorce. That's not giving anything away, but that's just kind of telling you why he's staying with his aunt and uncle. And while he's staying there, things start to go awry. There's a lot of different weird things that are happening to Jack that he can't really explain. All these people in the town seem to know who Jack is, but he doesn't really know who they are. He meets 2 friends in his neighborhood that he kind of starts tagging along with, and they're basically going through the the different mysteries around the town that Jack is trying to figure out himself on his own, but they start to pull collectively the pieces that he's trying to answer. I hope that's a good explanation. I don't want to give too much away, but I rated this a 3 on Goodreads because although it was a cute story, I think it was something that would be better as a movie adaptation because some of the visual things it explains, I don't think it did the greatest job explaining them, and I think that it would be a really cool visual aspect. What else can I say about this book? I think that it also tied some elements into the story that I think they were trying to make the story, or she was trying to make the story better or more exciting than what the premise is. I think if she would have kept it very basic, meaning you don't need all these theatrics and they can do this and this is what's happening, and also there's this magical realm of this and there's also dead people. I think there was a lot of going on and it kind of took away from the story of Jack and what we were trying to figure out about him. And the ending, I didn't really care for the ending. It didn't really do anything for me reading it, so maybe if it was in a movie it would have had better visual explanations. So yeah, all in all, I think it's worth a read, but it's not something that I think that I would write home about. But the cover did it for me. This next one is off of the Book Depository. It was just something random that was on sale, and I've been trying to kind of broaden my horizons as far as just reading different types of books, and this one kind of seemed very suspenseful, ominous. It's called A Mother's Secret, and it's by Tess Stimson. I'm just fucking up everybody's name today, so hopefully I said that correctly. Correct me down below if you know how to say this. Anyways, it follows a young mother, Maddie, and she is experiencing some memory loss over the past couple of weeks, months. There's not a particular event that is happening. She just kind of notices that she's like blacking out and can't remember certain things. And some things start to happen that she thinks that she may or not be responsible for. She starts to question her loved ones around her because she can't remember. So she doesn't know if she's doing them, if her family's playing games with her mind. She's also a new mother and has an older child that's still somewhat younger, and she's dealing with the stressors of motherhood. So I think that's kind of getting to her. So you're following Maddie as she's going through this and also figuring out some family secrets along the way. What else? I feel like I'm not giving great explanations of these because I'm trying to leave out big climactic moments. And I'm also a reader who doesn't like to know too much about a book. I want to know enough to be interested. So just know that there's a lot of secrets that Maddie is finding out about herself, her family, and her past. I rated this a 4 on Goodreads. I don't think I said my other ratings of books. This was a 4. It's something that I would read again, but I kind of guessed the ending. So a 5-star read for me would not only be something that I could read again, but something that I can't really guess the ending. I guess really briefly I'll say this. Gave this a 5-star. Give all memoirs 5 stars because I can't tell you that your life sucks. So that was a 5-star, and Sharp Objects was a 3.5 if I could have given it that. So not a 4, but not a 3. Lastly, I need to take a little drink. When you're talking, you just kind of get winded. Okay, this last book is very highly hyped on YouTube, Instagram. I've seen it everywhere, and I wanted to know what the hype was about. I'll just get into the review and then I'll kind of just like say what my thoughts on it were. That is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. There you go, messing up names again. I'm sorry, guys. It's weird saying other people's names. Erin Morgenstern, and it follows two magicians and a game that they are playing. Basically, who's the better magician, and there can only be one. And it is on the backdrop of a circus, and the circus is not like any other circus that you've seen. It's basically got all of the weird, mysterious, magical people, and their circus emulates that. This book is very atmospheric. I felt like I was there with them as I was reading the book. It is also in one of my favorite time periods, the 1800s, specifically the later ends of the 1800s. And it follows, like I said, these two magicians from youth into adulthood, and you just see them basically trying to beat one another, but they don't know who the other magician is, which makes it fun and mysterious that they're playing for a game that they don't even know who their opponent is. Now, as far as my review on this, I would say that this is a 4-star read. I feel like highly hyped books can sometimes be a downfall only, or in the way, because they are so hyped. I had a greater expectation of how this book would read. It was still great, so don't come for me if this is your favorite book. Still a great book, but I think that I expected more elements to play. I love magic, so it had that element in it, but I think it was really the ending. Not a bad ending, but I expected more. I just wanted more out of this book that I don't think that I really got, and I'm gonna blame that on high expectations. So I definitely think that you should read this. She has a second book out that I'm interested to read, The Starless Sea. I kind of want to see how that reads. I like the backdrop of that one a little bit more, so I'm anxious to kind of see if I get the same vibe from that as I did The Night Circus. But a beautiful book, like I said, atmospheric, and I think it's something that will transport you to a different world, so I like those elements of it. All right, that is my last book, the last thing that I have to speak about in this video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be with me through this journey. I actually filmed this like 5 times, and I got a really good first take for today of this video earlier, and then I had it in the wrong mode. So I had it in portrait mode instead of landscape, and I almost cried for like 10 minutes. But anyways, thank you again. I'm glad that I was able to do this. I hope that you like it. Let me know how I can improve. Let me know what you would like to see, and